Hey everyone, welcome to my very first video of this brand new YouTube channel, and boy do I have big plans for it, but I won't bother you with that. I want to cover this specific video because it's something that I recently experienced, and it was a pain in the ass. I wasted an entire day trying to do this. What I'm talking about is trying to get the sound coming out of your DAW. In my case, I'm using Reaper, but this will be applicable to any other DAW. And into a recording app of some sort. I use vMix personally. Other people maybe use OBS or some other streaming software. But what I'm basically going to show you is exactly how to set that up and get it working. So for me, I tried using a Voicemeeter. It did not work when I used ASIO. There was a lot of crackling, and I tried to adjust all the settings correctly. I spent a lot of time researching it. It would not work. But I found something else called SAR, which is Synchronous Audio Router. I'm going to show you how to use that and set it up in your DAW, and then also how to set it up in whichever application you're trying to get that audio into. All right, so if you enjoy this, make sure you subscribe. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up in this channel in terms of music recording, a strong emphasis on metal and guitar and music production. So let's get started. All right, so here we are. This is the Synchronous Audio Router website, sar.audio. It's one of those new trendy domain names. So all we're interested really here, it's going to tell you some information about it. Just click download and then choose either 64-bit or 86. And, you know, these days you should be on a 64-bit machine. You just click it. It's going to be less than 2 megs, and then you're going to want to install it all through the default options. You accept the license agreement. You're going to hit next, I think 2 more times, and you'll get one prompt to allow them to install this extra driver onto your machine. Hit OK, and then that's it. You don't even have to restart. So after you have it installed, that's when we're going to open up, you know, your preferred DAW, your digital audio workstation of sorts. I'm going to use Reaper. And I already have a project set up here to use Superior Drummer 3 just as a demonstration. So currently, let's go to Option Preferences. And mine is set to use the Synchronous Audio Router. Of course, if I use my regular Focusrite USB audio, you're only going to hear it through the microphone, which sounds like crap, of course. So we're going to go back to Options and Preferences. And we're going to choose, after you have this installed, the Synchronous Audio Router. It should show up right there for you. Next, we're going to go to the ASIO configuration. All right, so when you look at this particular dialog, it's not going to have these 2 playback and recording types added. It's going to be blank. So you have to go to Add, and then you have to give it a name. Just make it playback. It doesn't matter. And leave playback and channel count at 2, and then hit OK. Hit Add again, and then this time choose Recording. Make sure channel count is 2, and give it like another name like Recording. As you can see, these are my names here. Then you also have to make sure your hardware interface that's specified is the one that you would regularly use, the one that I just showed you, you know, through the monitors. And that would, for me, that's going to be Focusrite USB ASIO. All right, so then hit OK. And the final step here, in the DAW at least, is for enable inputs. First, you leave it at the first input, and then the last input, you use the very last input. So it has those 4 channels. Output range, same thing. Choose the very last one. So it's 1414. Hit OK. And then actually the real final step is we have to go to the master bus track, and we choose routing, and then we add a new hardware output. And we're going to choose SAR2 recording 1 / SAR2 recording 2. Obviously, depending on what you chose to name it, it's going to be different. And that's the final step here in the DAW. So now, depending on which software that you're using to record, to capture, you know, the sound coming out of here, it's going to be slightly different than the process I'm about to do. I'm using vMix. It's similar to OBS. Allows me to record me in video and put me in front of the screencast on the green screen and all that good stuff. But still, the same concept still applies. So I'm going to drag this window in, and it's going to get a little bit trippy because I have it's going to give a bunch of variations of myself. But what we want to do is add input. So wherever on your application you add an input, we're going to choose audio input. And then the audio device is going to be SAR2 recording Synchronous Audio Router right here. Now we hit OK, and that's it. So let me just move this over a little bit and get this scaled down. And so I can hit play, and hopefully, I don't really need to do this because you're going to hear the difference. You're going to hear the audio coming out as it should sound, and it's going to sound a lot better than what it was obviously through the mic. But right here is the SAR2 recording audio input that we just added, and we should see the meter start to go because it's capturing the sound coming from here. Right here. Now, it may seem, I have my studio monitors a little bit loud, so there might be a little bit of an echo on top of that because the mic's recording right here. So if I take off this audio from my mic, we can hear what it sounds without any type of microphone feedback. Now, also just to show you that it definitely is low latency, I'm going to open up Superior Drummer 3 here, and I'm going to move my mouse or my mic down close to my mouse so you can actually hear me clicking on one of these drums, so that you can hear it has that very low latency ASIO performance. All right, so you can hear it right there. Here we go. Sweet stuff. Excited to have this finally working. All right, so hopefully you found that very useful, and hopefully it works for you. If it doesn't, just mention it in the comments, and hopefully either myself or somebody else can help you out. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.